Yo.
What up? What up?
What up, man?
Welcome to the midnight hour.
Yeah. That's the sub name to the pod. Let's go. Just joining us, man. Make sure you hit like and subscribe on there on YouTube on
somewhere over here,
right next to Sean's drink somewhere. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, and then turn on your notifications for when we post, so you guys see those right away.
Appreciate you, people. Welcome back, everybody, to another week of the Carbon Footprint Podcast. He is Juan and I'm Sean, and every week we get together, have a few drinks, talk about things going on in the world, try to focus on things making an impact, whether they be good, bad, or otherwise. Hit them with a drink of the day.
Yo, we kept it simple, but yet delicious, man. I know we do old fashions here all the time, but a little unique twist to this one. So I wanted to do a tequila old fashioned with like a higher end tequila. So we started with the Herradura Añejo. It was phenomenal. And we switched over now to the Don Roberto Añejo, but 2 ounces of tequila. The Herradura has been good, so good. So 2 ounces of tequila, about half an ounce of agave syrup. I did Angostura bitters and then grapefruit and rosemary bitters.
Oh, is that what the shit you put in the?
That's the little dropper I had. Yeah,
dropper,
and that's from a local place called My Cocktail Cabinet. I think they do deliveries online, so look them up. I know they're on IG, My Cocktail Cabinet, but it's a local spot. But it's rosemary and grapefruit bitters, and then so you build the old fashioned with that, and just garnished with an orange peel that we expressed, cracked it a little bit and make sure that the oils are on there, and that's it. Simple.
Did you muddle a piece of orange at all?
Oh, I did. You're right, and that's like my thing I do with the. You're right. So before I added the ice into the mixing glass, I took an orange wedge and I muddled it at the bottom, and then I add ice, and then I add everything else in. So I add in the tequila, the agave syrup, the two different bitters, and then stir that up, pour it in a rocks glass, and then garnish with the orange peel. Yeah, the orange is like I like doing that a lot.
Dude, I do it all the time.
Yeah,
I think I learned it from you.
It's so good, man. I like it. And sometimes I'll do the orange and the cherry, muddle them together. I didn't do a cherry in this one, but still so good, man. I like this. I like old fashions, obviously. I like tequila old fashions. And I think if you do like a good tequila, because the old fashioned to me is like the drink has to be the star.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It can't be the other stuff, man. The drink has to be the star. So the spirit has to be the star of the drink, man. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's been good, man. It's not bad, man. I feel like I've been getting yelled at by Little League parents for like right before we started this shit by a bunch of disgruntled Little League moms.
They didn't know you volunteered. They didn't know you wasn't getting paid.
Nah, they don't give a fuck. Everybody just think their kid's a superstar, and they yell. I think the hardest part about some shit like that is I don't get to say what I really want to say. So it like makes it, because you know me. Yeah. Like, I don't mind the conflict.
I'm actually surprised you don't get this. I mean, I feel like because you work for free, you should get
to say shit, right? Yeah. But like, I'm mindful of like the fact that there's kids there, my kids there. Also it's Little League baseball, right? So I don't give a fuck. I don't, like in the grand scheme of things, like it doesn't really matter. Serious. I gotta take it serious. Like I'm trying to help them and trying to win. Like I'm very competitive. Like obviously, is that. But in the grand scheme of things, like it doesn't matter. It doesn't ruin my day. You know what I mean? Like so, yeah. I'm more upset that I can't say what I want to say. Like when like some of these moms, I'm like, if you showed that much enthusiasm to find your kid a dad, he wouldn't be such a puss. And then like that's what I want to say.
Yeah.
But I gotta hold it back.
And I hope you bitches are listening.
And I hope y'all. I hope some of y'all listen to the pod. And I hope you put that same level of enthusiasm into getting your shit together so you don't look like trash. Maybe dress up for the Little League games every once in a while. You might
find a daddy.
Maybe get a job somewhere respectable. I don't know. I'm just saying. Get a little something going for you. Man.
All right, man. Yo, let's get started.
Let's go.
Carbon footprint of the week is going out to, I think I got to give it to the NFL, I guess.
NFL? Man. Okay. Yeah.
And because we had the NFL draft this past week, and the big story around it was the drop of Shadeur Sanders to the 5th round. Yeah. And Shadeur Sanders was the quarterback of the Colorado Buffaloes. He's a son of Deion Sanders. The guy was getting paid right through his nil deals in college. Yeah. Came up through Jackson State, which is the HBCU. Gets transfers over to Colorado. Has had a good college resume.
College
wins right now because he did right. They won a championship with Jackson State.
Did they?
I thought so.
But that's Division.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't even know what division that is.
Yeah.
Division 2.
Yeah.
You can kind of say Division 2.
Is it? I don't even know. Yeah.
And so, but then brings Colorado out of obscurity.
Yeah.
Right now, it's not just him. It's him. It's Deion. It's the coaching staff. It's Deion's ability to draw talent to that school. But anyway, comes out into the draft as a number 1 or 2 prospect. I think as the draft draws closer, Cam Ward kind of became the clear number 1 for whatever reason.
Yeah. And I'm not even sure that he is.
Yeah, I don't know.
A first round pick.
We're gonna see.
Listen, he got picked by my team, right? So I'm hoping he's
he's phenomenal.
A transcendent talent and whatever. But like looking at the quarterback class this year, I didn't think anyone was a first round draft pick,
right?
Let alone number 1.
Yeah.
And
so Shadeur Sanders drops to the 5th round, and I will say, man, and the reason kind of why I'm giving to the NFL is I never watch the draft past the first day. And I can argue that I won't even watch the entire first day.
Did you watch just to see when he would finally get picked?
Yeah. But I found myself watching day 2, day 3.
Oh, wow.
Of the draft. I never watched
they turned it into a soap opera. I paid attention through the app or trying to see, I was paying attention to the alerts, but I didn't watch the actual draft.
I'm watching. I
watched a little bit, I think, at the first night.
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah.
And I'm watching as the rounds go on and as the teams are coming up, because my wife has also sort of been a Colorado fan for the last couple of years. Just
watching them. Yeah,
we could be watching. We did, man. We watched the prime. So I've always been a big Deion Sanders fan, even from when he was at Florida State. Watched his professional career, whatever. So I want to see what he's going to do. Amazon Prime. There's his series. It's called Prime. And it follows the Buffaloes.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So we watched that shit. So you kind of got invested, and then we watched the last 2 seasons, whatever. Yeah. So I wanted to see, and so we're watching, and as the teams are coming up, I'm going like, nope, they don't need a quarterback. They don't need a quarterback. Oh, wait a minute, here's a team needs a quarterback. Pay attention. And it was just like nope.
Yeah.
And he just kept dropping. Now, all of the rumors around it, right? Because you would think a guy that was touted to be in the top 2 or 3, right? Because some people say Jackson Dart may have been better. Still, to drop to the 5th round was fucking crazy,
dude. I think, man, there's so many layers to this. I'm trying to figure out which route I want to take first. I think one is I never heard an NFL scout talk about him being an NFL quarterback or anyone in the NFL, right? I think the media talked about him being potentially a first round, second round.
Correct.
And usually the media is right? Because generally there's a consensus on, who's the best player, who are the best players, and all that. I think this is one of those cases where the celebrity was so much bigger than the sort of what they thought they could contribute at the professional level, right? Like you said, he had nil deals, right? His last name is Sanders. He is fun to watch, right?
They're on
entertaining
TV
kid. They're on TV. All their games are televised. I think this is one of those things where the celebrity got ahead of his actual grade as a player in terms of professional prospects. And I think what happens is people got sucked into, but I watch them every week. But I do, because I think I've been telling you for a long time, I don't think he's an NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't think he's, he might be a fine backup and maybe he'll put in the work and he'll be a number 1. But I'm watching him and I'm going, dude, you're a 500 quarterback. You didn't have any offers from Alabama. You weren't in the SEC. You went to an HS,
HBCU.
HBCU, sorry. And you went to Colorado. You weren't dominant in the Pac-12. It's not like it's a dominant conference in the first place. It's and that's not to knock his skill set. I think it is okay, man, if you're a phenomenal college quarterback. It doesn't mean it's going to translate, and it's okay. It's a completely different game. And I think I would say where I was sort of impressed by the NFL, to your point, is that the NFL has learned its lesson, I feel over the last 2 decades in terms of you remember when if you were number 1 pick or within the first 5, they had to give you this ridiculous guaranteed deal. And then remember Jamarcus Russell was so trash and he was number 1 that they fucking changed the rule basically.
Dude,
we can't keep paying these guys.
Ryan Leaf.
So many people were garbage and they finally said, no, we're not guaranteeing rookies these astronomical contracts, right? And so they fixed it. I think over the last few years, dude, Tim Tebow, phenomenal, transcendent, all-time great at the college level. It is okay that it didn't translate. Like, sometimes it doesn't work. The things that work at that level aren't necessarily going to work in college, and that's fine. Like, that person could have had a great career there, and it doesn't translate. Johnny Manziel, there's so many quarterbacks that I think were great in college, and you watch them in college, you're like, it's phenomenal. Their game works there. There are so many different nuances when you get to the professional level. To me, especially if you are a player that played with a bunch of greats around you, where, like, I always looked at Tim Tebow and went, you're throwing to everyone who's the best at their position in the best conference in college football.
Yeah.
And you're still not throwing them open. You're still making bad throws and they have to slow down and catch it. It was like, I couldn't believe that I was the only one that could see that. I was like, bro, he's hitting Aaron Hernandez 2 steps too slow.
Yeah.
And it's Aaron Hernandez. Like, fucking,
Percy Harvin wasn't on that team too.
Andrew Luck would have hit that guy in stride and hit him open. It was just like, I don't understand why that's not obvious. And I think people get like so romanticized and they get so caught up in like but they're so great. It's like, yeah, they're good at this level because look at the competition. The game is different. They're throwing from the shotgun. They're never on the center. Like, there's so many things that are different about it. I go, they're the fastest person on the field because they're in the Pac-12. It's like when you get to the NFL and your linebackers are running 4.4 40s, the game changes completely. I'm like, it doesn't translate. Like, I looked at Shadeur Sanders and I went, not a big kid, not fast, average arm. I don't think he's going to cut in the NFL. And listen, he might prove me wrong. I hope he does. Like, because you hate to knock a 20-year-old, right? Like, you don't want to do that either. But I'm watching him throw and I'm watching him do stuff in the games. And I'm going, fun, entertaining. I liked it. I watched every Colorado game. Like, I was invested in the whole story. Like, I loved the story. I loved the thing. I didn't look at him and go, that's an NFL quarterback one day. Like, and maybe having Dion and all that does give you different perspective and different things, and hopefully you put in the work. But then you see that coupled with the attitude that he has, and I'm like, I think what happened, teams went, he's a backup, and I have to deal with that ego.
Right.
It's not worth the celebrity. Nobody wants a celebrity backup.
I know you mentioned Tim Tebow, right? And we saw that in the NFL wherever Tim Tebow went. And he was mostly not mostly. He was always a backup. He did start in Denver for a little bit.
Yeah. He won a playoff game for Denver, right? Yeah,
he did.
Yeah.
But the media wanted to talk to him every time after the game, and it was always like this celebrity where you go like, "Oh, when is Tim Tebow gonna play?"
Yeah.
And to your point, I wonder if NFL teams were going like, no, like I don't like.
He's a backup, and I have to deal with the celebrity of that. Yeah.
And I did hear somebody say, I think it was Colin Cowherd. I think he said that he had spoken to like a GM, and one of the GMs says, listen, if I draft a quarterback past the middle of the second round, I view this guy as a backup.
Backup. Yeah.
And to your point, I don't want to deal with that celebrity as a backup.
The upside has to be so large, and then if the upside was that big, you wouldn't have been a fifth round pick, right? So, to me, I think you could use this for why Cam Newton is not in the league, right? Cam Newton is like, there aren't 32 quarterbacks in the NFL better than me, or 64, whatever, like backups. Right. There's no way. And I go, you're right. You're better than probably half the backups in the NFL. But you're too big of an ego. You're too big of a personality. You're too big. Like, you're not going to be satisfied with being the backup, and you command too much attention. People don't want to deal with that. Right. The first time that whoever's the quarterback in Cleveland has a bad game, the fans are going to lose their shit because they're going to want Shadeur Sanders, right? They're going to lose it. And then people get romanticized. Like, they'll fall for the Shadeur has one great game, right? Because every quarterback that comes out that's a little dynamic, those stuff, has success in that first year or their first few starts. There's no tape on them. People don't know how they'll react. Like, there's all that, right? So people romanticize, they fall in love with it, and they're like, oh, this is how he should have been starting. And then the Tim Tebow thing happens, where once Tim Tebow's had a few starts on their thing, like he won a playoff game in Denver against the Steelers because his kicker hit like a fucking 70-yard field goal, like in the snow. Yeah, it was like so many things had to go right. He put up like 12 points. It wasn't like he lit the thing on fire. It was like everything went right. Then teams got tape on him. Teams saw how he responded. And then he couldn't fucking get a first down in the NFL to save his life. It's like, and that's what's going to happen. And so no one wants to deal with, I don't want to deal with the crowd yelling to get Shadeur in. I don't want to deal, because he's not a starter and he's not a thing. And I go, he might put in the work and prove people wrong. And maybe this is enough to light the fire. Look, I hope he does too. I don't like rooting like against a kid. I hate that. Like I hate even being critical of like a 20-year-old kid that you're just like, yo, man, this is a dream. He wants to be an NFL quarterback. I think the part of me that makes this okay is like, I don't even like his disposition. The first night of the NFL draft, when he goes, oh, y'all already know what it is. You already know what they're doing to me. They didn't pick me. I went, yeah, I already don't like you now. Because you have this hubris to think like you should have gone number one. And I like the confidence, But to have the lack of self-awareness to go like, yo, maybe I need to work on some shit.
Right.
You know, like.
Well, I also heard some of the interviews that he had with the teams, where they would ask him like, hey, here's a play that you did that was kind of a broken play. You know, what did you do wrong there? And that instead of going sort of being humble and going like, yep, like I made a mistake there, I should have done X, Y, and Z. He kind of turned around and was like, maybe I'm not the guy for you. So he kind of walked into
which I heard he bombed like deliberately because he wanted to get picked by a specific team.
Oh, okay. So maybe that's true.
But that in itself tells me a lot about like bro, you're going on a job interview for the NFL.
Right. Any team that picks you,
you should be fucking ecstatic.
Yeah,
and I know everybody wants to point to the Eli Manning thing, and that was 20 years ago. You don't see many people doing that now. There's not many people that can hold people hostage. Like if people try to make it a race thing, like, well, Eli did it. It's like, yeah, Eli did it fucking 20-something years ago. You don't see that happen every year. You don't see that happen all the time. Yeah, you don't see that coming from a dad who was an NFL quarterback. You know, like, I was like, there's so many layers to that. Also, Eli was wrong there, too. It's like, it doesn't mean it was okay. He did it, and people knocked him then, too. It just happened to work because he won fucking 2 Super Bowls.
There's 32 starting positions, for a quarterback.
For a quarterback, yeah.
Like, if you can get one, get one.
Dude, I heard, and again, stories come out afterwards. And again, credit to the NFL. The stories didn't come out before, and so they're not knocking him. They're not, I think it's easy to publicly go ahead and be like, yeah, we're not picking him. The kid was an asshole on a visit, right? Like if he was. It's easy to get ahead of that. Afterwards, obviously, things start to get leaked and people talk and whatever. And the thing was, like, the Giants were supposed to pick him. Remember, he wore, like, the Giants cleats and he did all this whole thing. And the rumor was, he went on the Giants interview and basically, like, they gave him a prep package and he didn't do it. And as they're asking him stuff, and it was like, plays or whatever, and they're asking, really? and he goes like, I didn't do that. I didn't look at it. And then they called him out on it, and then he had an attitude that he got called out, like basically like, no, I'm not your fucking player kind of thing. Like, so then they said like he was just had kind of an attitude about the whole thing. So now him and the head coach are sort of like, it's an awkward interview. But I go, dude, it's a job interview. Like, yeah, bro. What makes you so entitled to think you like, dude? This is also when you grow up as Deion Sanders' kid, right? And he, like you said, he has the nil deals. He's already rich. He's already used to people telling him he's good. He's already like, that's not who I want as my quarterback. I want the quarterback who's, dude, Tom Brady, pick number 6. People told you ain't shit, and you have that chip on your shoulder. And I hope that he responds in that manner. But he's used to people telling him he's the man. And I'm like, that shit doesn't work in the NFL because it requires too much work. It is hard to go and want to go get hit by 300-pound linemen when you wake up in silk sheets and there's $5 million in your bank account and, like, you can go be anywhere in the world right now on vacation and doing anything but fucking push-ups and benching 300 pounds and, running sprints and doing that shit. Like, you could do any, the level of discipline and humility that it takes to go. Like, because I know people want to point to the money. I don't give a fuck, bro. There's a certain amount of money that you have in your bank account that you'll look at it and you'll go, I mean, I know I could get another check, but also, do I want to wake up today and almost throw up because I'm working out so hard when I already have $10 million in my bank account? There's a different human being that, the different level of commitment it takes to do that. And I think there's questions on whether or not he's willing to do that. Yeah. And he's not talented enough to overcome not doing that.
Let's see. So here's the thing I found to be interesting, man. So the Browns ended up picking him up. But they picked up Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, that's going to be so fun.
Which is kind of crazy. Dylan Gabriel was actually a local kid here, went to UCF, transferred out of here, went to Oklahoma, and then ended up in Oregon for his senior year. Good quarterback, but small. What is he, 5'10",
he's undersized. Under the arm isn't great. But I would say Dylan Gabriel went to 3 top schools in Oklahoma and fucking, Oregon.
Yeah.
Did Shadeur Sanders get any offers from an SEC team? Or
not that I know of. Or did he just follow that? I don't know.
Right, maybe. Or is that where he could end up? Or, you know what I mean? Like, I find it difficult to believe that his options were, you could go play for Dad at Jackson State, or you can go play for the Gators. I highly doubt that he had the option to go play for the Gators. Maybe, as a quarterback, maybe somebody offered him, and I'm sure I can Google this. Like, maybe somebody offered him, and it wasn't at quarterback; it was another position because he's athletic enough, right, to go somewhere else. Like, I don't know, but something tells me that's not the case, bro.
Yeah, I don't know for a fact, man, but I mean, remember Travis Hunter kind of took his same route, right? Travis Hunter went to Jackson State, and ended up in Colorado.
I also don't think
like,
Travis Hunter is going to be Travis Hunter in the NFL. Travis Hunter is going to have to pick a position and stick with it.
That's going to be interesting, bro.
Yeah, there's no way. That kid's a wide receiver. There's no way that he plays both ways in the NFL effectively. Like, dude, Deion Sanders is the anomaly, right? And in a time where the game was different, and
yeah, but even he didn't go full time.
Yeah, and
he
also
was a DB.
Was he right? He was a DB. He wasn't a prolific wide receiver, right? To me, Travis Hunter
in packages maybe, but that's it.
Right, Travis Hunter can be a great wide receiver, in the NFL,
or a great cornerback.
Right. I don't think he's an NFL corner. I do think he's a I don't think he's talented enough to be a great NFL corner. I do think he's talented enough to be a great NFL wide receiver. And so I think at some point he's going to have to be humble enough to make that decision. And a team is going to have to tell him, bro, you're not allowed to play both ways. Like, there might be a package. We might throw you in there on a Hail Mary, on a 4th and fucking 27, on a 3rd and 16. We might say, hey, go in, cover a slot corner. But, Travis Hunter against fucking DK Metcalf gets cooked every down, bro. Every down. I don't even think it's close.
How tall is he? I'm not even sure.
He's not very tall, but he's not that physical. He's not fast enough. I
think. I hope so. Yeah, look that up.
Yeah, we'll look this up. Yeah,
but Jacksonville picked him up. Well, Jacksonville is trying. They just got a new GM, I believe, and they just hired a new coach.
Yeah,
and so they trying to make a splash, man. Those guys traded up to get Travis Hunter, man. Wishing that guy the best.
6'1", he's my height.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, but so he could again. I don't know, like you said,
6'1", 185.
They're small, but that seems like a good,
literally my size, 6'1", 185,
like a good cornerback to me.
Yeah, see, I think he's a good wide receiver and like speedy. You're not going up the middle, right? You got to go play on the edge. You got to do that stuff. I don't think you can cover. I don't think you can cover DK Metcalf for him. I don't think you can cover who's the number one wide receiver in the NFL.
A lot of DBs are like 5'11", 200 pounds. Right?
I don't think it's a size thing. I don't think he's quick. I think it's a combination. I don't think he's quick enough. I don't think he has the ball hawk ability. I don't think, again, if you're Travis Hunter, you don't end up at Jackson State if you are an all-time great talent at DB. And I think yes, it happens
as being the number 2 pick in the fucking draft, bro. Or was he number 3?
Number 2. No, he was 2. Jacksonville traded up to take him number 2.
So the Browns had number 2.
Yeah, dude, when he goes to Colorado, you're going to tell me that there aren't teams lining up to say, I'll take Travis Hunter? And maybe the nil deals, he's getting enough money, the other shit that he goes like, I want to stay loyal to Deion and whatever they believe in me. Like, that could be a thing. Also, fucking, you're going to tell me that Alabama, that the Gators, that, fucking Clemson, that USC, Texas doesn't call you and you don't go, at least listen? There's no fucking way, bro. No way.
And that could have happened, man.
And I think I think if I had to take a guess, I think it happens and those teams go, you're a corner or you're a wide receiver. And he goes, I want to play both ways. And I think you only do that if you're Deion. Right, because Deion goes, well, I did it, right? I don't know. I'm just guessing, but dude, I also think, man, we're so critical of like NFL executives and GMs and yada yada, and I go, it's like the fucking arrogance that we have like as fans to watch and like because we watch games all the time, we don't assume that they haven't done their homework and they're not talking to one another, right? Yeah, I just go, I know I'm arrogant enough to think like I always think, yo, just hit me up and I'll tell you who to draft. I've been saying this shit for 20 years, and my problem is that a lot of times I'm right.
You still believe it.
And I still believe that shit. But I'm like this year, I'm looking at the draft board, and like I'm thinking quarterback. I'm like, yo, just hit me up. I'll tell you exactly who not to take at least. And I'm going to tell you. And I feel like.
So did you want Cam Ward?
Was
there a QB that you would have drafted instead?
No. So I went, in my mind, it was, if you're going to take a QB, take Cam Ward.
Yeah.
And if you're not, just trade out of that pick. And get a bunch of first, second, third round picks out of it, or like whatever. Just get a bunch of draft picks was my thing, because I go, the Titans need so much that Cam Ward doesn't solve that problem. And what I will say about Cam Ward that I did like, again, I've watched him play. I wasn't blown away.
That kid's good, bro.
Yeah. It's just like, and I think he's a good player, but I wasn't like blown away. What I will say is, in watching the interviews and watching the videos and watching the stuff, is like, I go, to his credit, he's smart enough to say the right shit. Like, Shadeur Sanders wasn't smart enough to just say the right shit. Just play along. Play the game. It's a fucking job interview. Like, there is an IQ thing there where if you can just shut the fuck up and get out of your own way, and when people can't do that, I go, man, that's basic. Like, if you can't shut the fuck up. Like, Cam Ward, 2 weeks leading up to the draft, he's online playing Fortnite. And every response was him, like, who's your favorite running back? He was naming Tennessee Titan running back. I know that's not true, but he's fucking going in because he's like trying to build credit with his future teammates, right? Because he's going, these guys got the first pick. I'm going to go, who's your favorite quarterback in the NFL? He's fucking, naming, guys who were Titans. Who's your fucking favorite coach in the NFL? He's naming the coach. Like, clearly he's like going there. I go,
oh, that's dope.
Nobody thinks that you believe that, but you're smart enough to fucking play that game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there is an awareness to that I go, okay, I like you because you're smart enough to humble yourself. There's a video of him and Shadeur Sanders where he's talking shit to Shadeur. And
I saw that.
And Shadeur's, and he tells Shadeur, like, Shadeur's like, well, I had the highest completion percent. And I know that's like the stat that everyone throws around. And he goes like, you threw checkdowns. And I'm like, he's fucking right, because that's my thing is like, you threw checkdowns and little slant routes. Like, of course you had a high. And he goes, if that was me, I'd have a 90% completion. You know what I'm like?
Yeah.
Yo, he's right. But also, he's like, Shadeur goes, you don't do anything outside of football? He's like asking him to make a song or something like that. And he goes, no, I'm a football player. And I go, he may not believe this, but he's smart enough to know there's cameras rolling. People are going to see this. This is going to go viral. And he goes, and the guy goes, well, so you don't have a life outside of football? And Cam Ward's response is, no, I'm a football player. And I go, yo, if you're a team that's about to give someone generational money, that's what you want to hear. I don't give a fuck if you believe that.
Yeah, I don't care if you make rap music.
You're smart enough to go, nah, I'm a football player, and I go, you're all in. That's the person, because I think people get lost, like in the celebrity thing, in the entertainment thing. If I'm an owner to an NFL team, I'm giving you generational wealth. I'm not only making you rich, I'm making your grandkids rich. What do you have to be worth to me in order for me to do that? You can't just be some kid who can throw hard and who can run fast, right? Like, I got to believe in the personality. I got to believe in you're the CEO of my team in terms of, like, you're the leader on the field. You're representing me in every commercial.
Yeah, you're all
everything.
in, bro.
You're all in. I go, I don't know that Shadeur Sanders was mature enough to take that role. I hope he becomes that, but I don't. Today, I go, if I'm looking at him and I'm looking at Cam Ward, I'm going, Cam Ward was at least smart enough to say the right shit.
Yeah.
Like, and I think, to me, like, there's a reward to that where you just go, I'll take my chances with the kid who was self-aware enough to go, I'm going to say this shit. I know cameras are on. I know this is rolling. This might be performative, but I was smart enough to handle the performance, where Shadeur led with ego the entire time.
Yeah.
And then people want to make it a race thing of like, oh, people just don't like the thing. I go, fucking 90% of the NFL is black. Like, get over that. Like, there's a bunch of quarterbacks that were taken over black. Like, like the fact that we want to use, people just don't like it because he's swaggy and he's this, and they wanted to make it a race thing. It's like, shut the fuck up. Like, everyone in the NFL, for the most part, is black. Everybody that we find entertaining is black. The whole, like, quarterback can't be black argument is dead. Jalen Hurts is black. Patrick Mahomes is black. Lamar Jackson is black. Like, all the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now are black. Like, get over that. Like, like, right now you have Josh Allen and everybody else is black. Like, it's just, so it's like, that's it. So, like, that argument is dead. Like, to me, it's like, yes, it was a thing. At a point in time, I would have agreed.
Absolutely.
Where it was an absolute thing. That is not the thing now. The thing now is, don't be an asshole, bro. Be approachable. Be humble. Like, be workable. Be coachable. Be all this shit. And he just wasn't. I don't think he was fifth, but I definitely didn't think he was a first. And I looked at, to your point, like, going back to this whole carbon footprint thing, I'm sort of glad to see that the NFL has caught on to the, man, Johnny Manziel didn't work. Man, Jamarcus Russell didn't work. Man, Baker Mayfield worked later on. Right? Like, Baker Mayfield was humble enough to go, like, well, what I'm doing doesn't work. I got to fix my attitude. I got to fix all this shit. Like, and credit to him. He turned it around. But I think them watching these guys over time that haven't worked, that were celebrity quarterbacks first, instead of, like, being, I think, graded on sort of their merit and their skill set, and not being realistic. Because I think what happens is you get caught up in the hype and you don't grade. The assessment isn't fair to where they're at. Where they actually are as a player at that time. And I think that's what happened to Shadeur this week.
Dude, so they got 5 quarterbacks in that room. They got Deshaun Watson.
That's so Cleveland.
It's fucking crazy. Deshaun Watson, who's still healing from the Achilles, right?
And the highest paid one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL.
So you got Deshaun Watson, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and Shadeur Sanders in the QB room. So you cannot carry. What do you carry? 3 QBs?
Yeah.
Into the season?
So you're gonna dump 2, right? So you're gonna trade Kenny Pickett, or you're gonna trade Joe Flacco.
Or Joe Flacco.
I mean, if I'm them,
or the 2 rookies, right? You could
dump one of them.
You could dump one of them.
Well, yeah, you dump Dylan Gabriel. Dylan Gabriel isn't gonna be a great NFL quarterback either. Like, I mean, and I say that to say I know he got offers from those schools.
See.
I've watched enough Dylan Gabriel at UCF. I watched enough Dylan Gabriel at Oregon to know, like, you're not a starter. So he's gonna, whatever. But
hey,
if you're them,
career backup ain't bad, bro.
Who better though? But I'll make this argument: do you keep Dylan Gabriel, Shadeur, and Joe Flacco? Because Joe Flacco gives you leadership. He's a Super Bowl winner. He's been around, all-time greats, Hall of Famers, all stuff like right. He doesn't give a fuck about impressing you anymore. He doesn't like Joe Flacco, and then you go, we'll ride out. And Shadeur's number 3 on that roster probably. So do you go with Joe's the starter, maybe Dylan Gabriel's your 2, and then Shadeur's your 3, and you hopefully learn from a guy in Joe Flacco who's won a Super Bowl, who's led teams, who's had Hall of Fame teammates to show them the way, or Kenny Pickett, who's unproven, right? Like Kenny Pickett,
he got a ring.
He was just out as a backup, right? For who? For Philadelphia?
For Philly. Yeah. For Philly.
But Kenny Pickett was like a second. He was a
first round
early.
Pick, right? Yeah.
I was say he was a first round. I was gonna say he was a second or third first round pick
for Pittsburgh.
For Pittsburgh, yeah. And I don't call Kenny Pickett trash, but he just didn't work. And I mean, Pittsburgh is where quarterbacks go to die mostly, right? Like they're not really known to develop.
That's Chicago.
Chicago's wide receivers go to die in Chicago.
Right.
Quarterbacks go to die in Pittsburgh.
But no, man. So, the other thing that happened during this draft period was Shadeur gets a prank call from somebody who basically goes, "Hey, we're gonna. This is. I think he's like, this is the Saints. We're gonna draft you," and then goes, "Yeah, no, I guess you're gonna have to wait."
Yeah, they fuck with him, and he thinks he's talking to the Saints organization.
Right. And the kid, dumbass, he fucking posts a video of him doing it. It goes viral. The kid,
I didn't realize he posted it.
Yeah, he posted. Dude, when I first saw it, I didn't even realize who this kid was.
I knew the story, but I didn't know he posted a video.
What a fucking idiot! So it turns out that the guy, it's Jax Obridge, who is Jeff Obridge's son. Jeff Obridge is the defensive coordinator for the Falcons.
Yeah, he's like a well-respected NFL guy, man.
Dude, he was the guy who took over when the guy from the Jets that got fired.
Yeah, Robert Saleh. Yeah,
when Robert Saleh got fired.
Interim head coach.
He was the interim head coach for the Jets. Now he's defensive coordinator for the Falcons. Anyway,
new job by the way. Yeah,
new job. As the story goes, I guess Jax came home to visit his parents. Dad has the fucking iPad out. He sees Shadeur's number.
Because Jax is Jax is a college kid. He's
college kid.
Home. Yeah. So he's not a child.
I think he's a student at Berry College in Georgia.
So he's like a 20-year-old kid.
Yeah, 21 years old.
Yep. Okay.
So he comes home. I guess iPad's open. He sees Shadeur's number. He copies it down. He goes and plays this fucking prank. Dude, the Falcons end up getting fined by the NFL $250,000, and Jeff Obridge gets fined $100,000.
Yo, what's that for Jeff Obridge's salary? That's got to be? I don't even
care.
15-20% of his annual salary.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's enough.
I'm gonna look it up.
It's enough that I'm gonna fuck you up.
Yeah. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you till I feel like I got $100,000 worth of beatings out of you.
I'm gonna beat you like you stole something. I'm like, I get the whole prank shit and whatever, but when you are doing that shit, and it is that is the equivalent of your kid going to your place of business and stealing, or you know what I mean.
The report is that he makes $1.6 million a year.
Yeah. So
yeah. You cost me $100,000 to be a dumbass and make a prank call, bro.
Yeah, bro. No.
Dude, I hope you got a scholarship. Bro.
Dude, I don't even know, what kind of, obviously a 21-year-old kid, I don't know if you can punish him, how you can punish him, But fucking A, bro. You know what? When I saw this story come out, I immediately told my kids, I'm like, if you are ever going to fuck around, do not go to where I work to fuck around.
Also,
out of all places, do not go there. If you are in that place, you better be the most upstanding citizen that's in that fucking place.
Dude, my son is 11 now, right? And so he's entering the age of dumb shit. And I have this, and more times than not lately, I'll tell him stories about people doing stupid shit or whatever. Yeah. And I'm like, be smart when you're being stupid. And so, like, if you're going to be dumb, at least be smart about it. So, like, recording it and putting it on the fucking internet is like, that's the worst. Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with you, bro? It's like, if you already made one poor decision, don't compound it with a secondary poor decision. It's like, the least you could have did was just do it. Everybody goes, oh, this shit happened to Shadeur. People are wondering what happened, whatever. Maybe they trace the number. There's an investigation. Like, they still get there. Dude, don't fucking record it, bro. Yeah. Like,
and he wasn't the only.
I would be mad as fucking my son for the recording more than stealing the thing. Because I would go, yo, you're stupid and your prefrontal cortex isn't developed yet, and so you're dumb enough to think that's funny. And I get it because I've been a guy who's 21. But then you recorded it. You know what I mean? Like, I'd be more disappointed about getting caught. You know what I mean? It's like, Also, I'd fucking murder him for costing me $100,000. Oh,
dude! I don't even know what I would do. I did use this as a training moment to my sons, and I'm just like, listen, if y'all gonna fuck around out there, do not do that shit in my place of business.
He'd be playing Little League baseball in Uzbekistan right now. Fuck.
And apparently, man, there were several prospects that got prank calls.
Yeah, I mean, it has to happen every year. But Shadeur's a celebrity, right? Yeah. So when it comes out, but I have to imagine that happens to all of them, at least a bunch of them.
I know there were several. I don't know.
Yeah. I would think it has to happen every season. With the major players, like I would think it has to happen because, dude, you got to think about the people who already have your number are gonna fuck with you. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, it's cruel. I just don't think people think about it that far, right? Like for some of these kids,
no, definitely not.
For some of these kids, you've been working your whole life to get to this moment and make it, and your family has, and the sacrifice that goes into like, the sports stuff as a kid to do this, like. And some people know from a very early age, right? Like you're in middle school. This is the goal. And so to get there, man, it's a surreal feeling. I can't even imagine what that's like for them. So it is kind of fucked up to play with those emotions and all that stuff. But also, it is kind of funny to fuck with them. Like I understand even the prankers part of it. Like, so I don't want to sit here and sound like a moralist because like I'm immature enough to understand like why they thought it was funny.
Yeah,
but I can also empathize with like his side of it and going like, man, like I've been waiting for this and now you're fucking with me. Like the the roller coaster of emotions that go through something like that is.
But remember, he also streamed it on Twitch.
You're kind of asking for it. I think you are. If you're him, you're kind of asking to get fucked with all the time.
Yeah.
Because again, you're a celebrity quarterback. Right, like it's like what we call Trump, like celebrity in chief, right? Like he's a celebrity first. Like I think Charlemagne has coined that term for him. Like celebrity in chief is like you look at them as a famous person first, and then whatever it is that we know them for.
Right.
But it's mostly like, yo, they're just famous. I don't know why the fuck they're famous, but they're famous, and then here's why. Like, so I think you are inviting a level of that kind of shit in, right? Like it's more cruel if it happens to Jackson Dart. I think.
Then
right. If it happens to Dylan Gabriel, I think if you're Shadeur Sanders, I don't want to say you're asking for it because it sounds like the whole fucking like you shouldn't have wore a short skirt thing. Like I understand right. That, but also I do think as an individual you have to. If you're gonna be sort of like arrogant enough and have that hubris to put yourself out there and have a TV show and fucking create a draft room in your house and have all these charms and fucking like naming your draft room legacy and yada 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 before you've even thrown an NFL pass. Oh, legendary. Sorry, you legendary and you're calling yourself legendary and he's even saying it like a fucking NASCAR driver after every interview. He ends it with legendary. Like he's fucking calling out. Like I think if you do that, you're inviting this like. And I think I don't want to say you deserve it, but you have to expect it.
I was going to say you shouldn't be surprised. Mm-hmm. You shouldn't be surprised by it. All right, man. Let's switch gears a little bit. We got a lot of shit to talk about.
Oh, but so many, bro.
I know. Real quick, did you see Tyrese Halliburton's dad?
I didn't, bro.
Okay.
I saw the headline, but I didn't see what happened.
Let me paint the picture, man.
Yeah,
so Indiana Pacers, NBA, Indiana Pacers eliminate the Milwaukee Bucks. Tyrese Halliburton, who's a star point guard for Indiana, his father runs onto the floor where he doesn't belong.
Wait,
with a towel. I don't know if it's like an Indiana Pacers towel or a Tyrese Halliburton towel. I don't know.
this is post game.
Post game.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Runs onto the court, flashes the towel in front of the Milwaukee Bucks star player Giannis.
Okay.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, I ain't gonna try that. Greek freak. That's what he's on.
And commences to talk shit in his face. And I'm like, the first thing when I saw that, I go, oh, Giannis is gonna knock him out.
Oh yeah.
And I kind of, this is another like teaching moment for my kids when we were watching this, and I go, yo, that guy, again, I don't know him, probably a stand-up guy, maybe not. I go, but are you doing, like, let's just say that guy is from a rough neighborhood.
Yeah, is there alcohol involved?
Are you doing that to somebody in the street, or are you doing that shit because you know that you're protected?
Yeah, you doing that to Ray Lewis?
Right. Are you doing that?
May or may not have a murder under his belt.
Or are you doing that to Giannis if he's not Giannis and he's just a dude that size in your neighborhood? You know what I mean?
No, fuck no.
Yeah,
most dudes are not. Yeah.
No, man. And I'm like, you don't belong on the court. I saw Shaq and Charles Barkley fucking debating this shit, and Shaq was like, yo, like this is shit that happens. And I know that fans are able to.
Yeah.
You know, listen, as a fan, you're able to talk shit from your seat, but when you jump on the court and start and get in somebody's face and start talking shit, for me, man, I feel like that's where you cross the line, and whatever happens to you happens to you.
Yeah, dude, and it's weird because, like, I mean, this goes back a little bit, I guess, to what I was saying before, where there's a certain level of expectation if you're the player, right, that you have to sort of compose yourself. But, man, they're human beings, and fans are allowed to say whatever the fuck they want, and then we expect...
From your seat, bro.
And we expect players to, like, just kind of take it, which I don't agree with either, man. I feel like if you run up on me like that, I should be allowed... And first off, if you run up on me like that, and security for my team or the arena, whoever, doesn't handle that first... I should be allowed to do whatever the fuck I want because I don't know what you're capable of. I don't know what you're gonna do. I don't know how you got in here. I don't, maybe I know you're his dad, but that doesn't mean shit. Like, all the more reason why you should shut the fuck up and sit down. Like, I feel like you would handle yourself with more class, but like maybe not. It's weird, man, because like you said, like, what happens if Giannis punches this guy? It's all over the fucking thing.
Right?
And he gets sued. He gets suspended by the league. It's all this shit. And I'm glad they were able to sort of squash it. I think it sounds like Tyrese Halliburton was kind of like, yo, my dad was in the fucking wrong. Like, and he was. It. And then the dad got banned, but like.
Did you see, like, they came face to face?
No, I saw a still of it, but I didn't see a video of it.
So first he gets in front of him with the towel and he's waving it and talking shit to him. Then they approach each other and they're literally head to head. And I'm like, dude.
So Giannis is 7'1", 7'2".
He's saying 7 feet, and this guy is he's probably over 6 feet, but he's not that, right?
Yeah.
And dude, if you are a dad of a boxer and you run into the ring after your son wins the fight, and you get into the losing boxer's face, are you not prepared to get knocked the fuck out, man? Are you not expecting to get checked up?
Because we've seen that shit happen before.
Yeah, bro.
You should get knocked the fuck out. Like, go sit in your corner.
And I feel like, I mean, these guys are not fighters, but you have these alpha athlete, personnel, man, that are in this sort of dogfight for trying to get to the championship, and they lose. That is the worst time to get in somebody's face and talk shit.
Oh my God, yeah, it is, dude. And it's funny, man, because you know me, like, as much shit as I talk, Like,
but from your seat, bro.
Right. From my seat, but also I'm very aware of time and place. I'm very aware, like, situationally of stuff like that. Like, to me, it's like, it's the fun in talking shit. I don't want to actually make you mad. I just want to have a good time and laugh. But if I see someone's getting, like, upset, I'll generally back off if we're not cool. If I see you're getting upset and you're someone who just likes to dish it, then I'm fucking leaning in, right? Like, so, like, if you're I would almost understand this if you're the dad and you have this rapport with him where you feel like you can do that and you can talk shit and you can go, like, like when I saw it, I was like, oh, maybe they're cool like that and maybe they have games, and he feels sort of like
it didn't seem like
because I could see like right, I could see me being that person who's like sits courtside and talks shit to someone all the time, and then we have like a friendly banter, and then at the end of it I might fuck with him. And it's like, it definitely didn't seem like this was the thing, right? Like,
definitely not.
And then you have to go, I have to expect to get fucking, this guy's going to swing on me or get banned, which I'm glad the NBA stepped in. They banned him. It
did ban him?
Yeah.
For the rest of the year, I guess?
Indefinitely, they said, for at least for the short term. They said they're reviewing it, but definitely the rest of the playoffs.
Shit.
And so.
Stupid
because you embarrass your son. You don't get to go watch him play now. Because bro, it's funny, man. Like, emotional IQ is so fucking underrated. Like, go back to before. Like, I like to talk shit. I like to I'm very aware of time and place with people, and I'm very aware of like my surroundings and who's watching and yada yada. Like, I'm like, the fact that people just don't understand. Like, if you're his dad and you want to talk shit, cool. That moment wasn't the moment to talk shit and do stuff. Like, in the middle of a play, like we've seen players do it and they yell something at a player and they go back and forth. I wouldn't do it either. Just cheer on your guy and just move forward, because you're in this very fortunate position where you're sitting courtside and you're cheering on your son who's that, like, who's a star
in the NBA, man.
Again, it's like the emotional IQ to not go, shut the fuck up. Your son's one of the best players in the league. He's the franchise. Like, I get to sit here and I get to watch him. I get to enjoy this. I get to see my son, perform at the highest level. I get to rub elbows with these people and talk and do it. It's enough. Shut the fuck up. Like, it's enough, man. And people are just, dude, emotional intelligence is so fucking underrated, bro.
Yeah, bro.
It's so underrated.
All right, man. What you want to get into next, man? We got some shit down here.
The shit that went viral this week that had me fucking crying is the with the memes and all this shit was this whole, like, there's been this whole thing on the internet, and I know you guys have been fucking listening, and if you're not into sports, you've already tuned us out, and I apologize, but
I'm sorry, but not sorry.
Yeah, that's just what dominated headlines this week. But did you see this whole 100 gorillas versus one man argument online?
No,
I don't know why.
Opposite.
At first, sorry. 100 men versus one gorilla.
Yes.
Yeah. 100 men versus one gorilla. And I don't know why. At first, I thought, this is stupid. I can't believe it. And then I started seeing the memes, and I was like, I'm in. I'm invested. The memes are so fucking funny, bro. And so if you guys haven't seen it, this theory of like what would happen if 100 men decided to fight one gorilla, silverback gorilla, and it was like, could the 100 men beat this one gorilla? And that was sort of the argument. And then the fucking internet exploded with the greatest memes I've seen in a long time. Like, had me crying. Literally, I think there was one where I went, I can't fucking breathe. Like, it was so good, bro. They had one with like interviewing a gorilla who had fucked up a bunch of people, and the shit he was saying, that they were faking.
Oh, that's dope.
I couldn't breathe, bro. Literally couldn't breathe. It was so good.
What's your take? What do you think?
Bro, I think it depends on the level of men. Like,
no, average men.
Average dudes, like, just rolling out there. I think the gorilla's got a shot.
No fucking way, man.
You don't think so?
No, fuck that, man.
Think about the softest dudes at your job. 100 of them.
Yes. So you have to you have to have men that are willing to do it.
But that's what I'm saying. I think it depends on the men. If you're talking about 100 Marines.
But I'm saying average dudes are like not, what I'm saying, like not athletes, not.
Yeah.
Like 100 average guys that are willing to fight to the death.
Yeah, because you got to be willing to die, because the gorilla's going to kill you.
Somebody's done.
So somebody's dying. Yeah. If it's 1v100, fucking 12 people are dying.
Yeah.
Like, I think the men are going to win, but y'all going to lose some.
Yeah, no doubt. But I thought it was kind of absurd, man.
I will fuck a gorilla up, by the way.
So here's some cool stats.
Go ahead.
A silverback gorilla is 4 to 9 times stronger than a human. They can lift and throw weights around 4,000 pounds. So that got me going.
Have you seen their teeth too? They will fucking chop you in half.
But if you can throw 4,000, what are you doing with a 200-pound dude?
Half of those men in one go.
You just keep throwing.
You start flinging them. Yo, somebody tell Mr. Beast this is a thing, because he'll make this shit happen. With a bunch of hungry dudes from Samoa. Bro. And then he'll be like, yo, we'll build you a house and give you a yacht if you win.
And build you a well.
And build you a well. All 100 of you.
Not for nothing, bro. I would pay to watch this.
That's what I'm saying. If Mr. Beast produced this video, I'm like, I'm all in, bro. Bro, you go to the hood and go, I'm going to get 100 dudes from Compton to fight this gorilla. Bro, this shit would be so entertaining, because you could have iterations of it. Be like 100 Marines, fucking 100 cross-dressers down at your local fucking... your gay club. 100 school teachers, be like fucking 100 accountants. But it's limitless, bro. The amount of iterations of this.
How much money would it take for you to be one of the 100?
To fight a gorilla?
To be one of the 100?
I'm good, bro. No.
10 mil?
Like bare hands.
100 mil.
So no, bare hands fighting a gorilla. Nah, for 100 mil, I'm fucking a gorilla. I'm telling you. I believe in my ability, bro. Stick and move, dog. Stick and move. I got this gorilla. Fuck him.
Just don't go in first.
Yeah, just don't go in first. Exactly. I want like number 47. He's a little tired. Also, is it a gorilla in the wild? Or is it a gorilla in captivity that's been a little malnourished?
No. Gotta be in the wild.
It's gotta be one in the wild.
Gotta be one in the wild.
I think that changes it. A gorilla at Animal Kingdom, I'll be number 2. I don't give a fuck.
But dude, if you get 100 dudes to rush this thing, that shit is dying.
Yo, and if you get a fucking a bunch of MMA guys who will just lie there and wait for the gorilla to come for them, a bunch of fucking jujitsu guys just laying on the floor waiting to get hugged. The gorilla looking at them all confused, like, bro, you coming or what? I gotta come to you. You know I could just throw you, right? Bro, that shit, the memes I haven't laughed that hard about fucking something that went viral in so long, because the amount of crazy memes of like the gorilla. Did you see the one with the guy? He's like in a gorilla costume, and he's like enjoying the fruits of his labor. He's like stealing their girlfriend.
No,
it's fucking amazing, bro. He's got like the guy's girlfriend sitting on his lap. It was so good, bro.
Man,
it reminded me of the Chappelle show when they had the Chappelle show where they had the white girl sitting on the black dude's lap. You remember that skit from the Chappelle? Oh, it reminded me of that shit. It was so fucking good, bro. Oh my god, it was so good. I fucking love that shit,
dude. Tell me about this Epstein suicide, man. What's going on,
bro? So this girl, I don't want to get her name. I don't want to just call her this girl because she quote unquote killed herself this week. But you guys know the Jeffrey Epstein story. I hope if you listen to this, Google it. We don't got time to get into it, but Jeffrey Epstein, this whole story behind him.
He had an island and he had a bunch of young girls.
Allegedly fucked a bunch of girls. Possibly true. He committed suicide. Wink, wink. In prison. There's this girl named Virginia. Giuffre, Giuffre, however you pronounce that. I'm gonna say Giuffre. She was one of the, I don't know if you call him a survivor or whatever, but she's like a witness.
So she was on the island,
part of it, and she's escaped or whatever. However, she got out of it.
She's just not there anymore.
She's just not there anymore, and she's like sort of like a first. She's an eyewitness and I guess has testimony to the whole shit, right? Like she's a survivor, if you will. This whole thing.
I'm gonna say, is she not dead yet? But I guess she is.
She is now. So she committed suicide this week. Now, what's interesting about this suicide is like, and we all know the Jeffrey Epstein thing is already shrouded in controversy, and we don't really believe that he hung himself. There's a tweet that has made its rounds from 2019.
Okay.
The tweet from her says, I am making it publicly known that in no way, shape, or form I am suicidal. I have made this known to my therapist and GP. If something happens to me, in the sake of my family, do not let this go away. and help me to protect them. Too many evil people want to see me quieted. And so her dad has opened and sort of an inquisition because her death was ruled a suicide. And so her dad has been pushing for them to like sort of do an investigation, all this shit. And this is one of the things that came up as like, and he's like, she was always adamant. Like, I want you guys to understand, like, I'm going through a lot of this, all this shit. I will never kill myself. And so if something happens to me, I need you guys to look into it. It just adds a whole nother layer to this whole fucking Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell
and it's,
thing and all
really,
this shit.
and it's really about all of the people that went there, right?
Yeah,
so like,
which is fucking everybody.
Yeah, right. It's like anybody who's anybody.
Oh, can you sing? You've been there. Can you rap? You've been there.
Yeah,
Can
are you a leader of a country?
Yeah, right. You've been there. Do you make movies? You've been there. Like, yeah. Fuck, dude, it's a fascinating. I mean, fuck, man. If she, whether she, you know, like she could have, maybe all this shit was too much for her to handle. Mm-hmm. It's very difficult to ignore a plead like that, given the circumstance and given everything that happens around that. I thought it was fascinating in the sense of like, man, the Jeffrey Epstein thing has become like one of the like those things. I don't even want to call it secret, like obvious secret, but it's like we all kind of know what happened, but we don't know what happened.
But we don't really know, right? We don't know the details.
And it's really weird to watch because I think we look at stories in history where we're like, how the fuck did these people not know this, right? And I wonder if this is the thing for our generation where people in the future are going to go, how the fuck did you guys not know this or do anything about this? Or like maybe you knew, but you didn't act upon it. Like everything was so obvious. Like it was right in front of you. And I think we look at this story right now and maybe these people did back then. It was like, yeah, it was fucking obvious, but I'm not stepping in. And so like, who steps in? How do you step in?
Yeah.
What do you? I don't know the answer to that. Like, it's
you know, and learned about this, and I shouldn't say learned about this recently, but we all know there's sort of like a deep state, right? Almost like a permanent government. And so, but we don't like the layman, right? We don't know who that is or what that is.
Or why that
is,
yeah.
Right. I think that that whole Epstein Island shit has gone into almost like that deep state level where there's just people that are really in powerful positions that go, no, like there's no way this is coming out, and anybody that knows about it, we're just gonna get rid of them, and that's it. And unfortunately for this girl, she was part of it. Probably knew she was in danger. But as far as like, who do you get to investigate that maybe that is not afraid of the same thing happening to them?
Yeah, I don't know how you.
Yeah, bro.
Dude, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I know we talk a lot of shit on this pod and we bring up stories and all that shit, but in general, for the most part, like I don't believe in conspiracies. I don't believe in a lot of shit. There are some things that are just undeniable, right? I can see stories like that come up and I'm like, yeah, there's fucking something there. Also, I know too much in terms of like, I know of things and of people and of whatever where I'm just like, I see a story like this and I'm like, yeah, of course you can make that look like that. And so like, but in general, like I'm not one of these like, you know, tinfoil hat guys who thinks the government's out to get you and there's all the conspiracies. Like, and every once in a while something comes across so obvious where you're just like, well, I don't think that's a conspiracy. It seems like that's fucking what happened. Yeah. And they're just hoping we kind of look the other way. We're so self-absorbed as humans. Like we were talking about that alien story last week where we were saying like, bro, this is not only documented on the Russian side, it's documented on the CIA side. In the US, there's pictures, there's videos, there's all this shit. And it didn't even fucking make the top 10. No one cares. Like we're not, I would think that would be the number one story. No one cares. Like we're so caught up in our
I didn't even hear about space.
No, but I also think it's not even so like, yeah, there's like we're all just caught up in our own little world and we think whatever it is that we're thinking about is the most important thing that day, and it's because it is to us. But also, there's just such an overflow of information now, and human beings aren't designed to know everything, right? Like you think about like the sort of like beginnings of us is like we lived in fucking whatever little town we lived in or whatever little prairie we lived in or whatever, and we knew what the fuck was happening there, and we knew what animals were crossing there, and we knew what we had to do to go out to get food, and that was it. And now we like know what's happening on the other side of the country in some remote village somewhere,
other side of the earth.
and right. Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant to say. Like the other side of the earth in some remote village somewhere and all this shit. And then we know that for every single corner of the earth. And then we know that for every single country. And then we know that for people in every weather, planet. And then we know that like in every hemisphere. And it's like, it's too much. We're not designed to know this much. And it's like, I don't know that we know what to do with this information. So naturally, you just sort of like filter shit out and you just go to the shit that's important to you. I think this like it's really bizarre to watch shit like this just play out now, and it's funny because our whole premise is like the carbon footprint is like things that make an impact. Good, bad. Like sometimes I think like these things happen and we don't even realize that they're shaping sort of our way of life or the way we will think or a whole generation of policy or a whole generation of like. Could you look at something like the Epstein thing and go, is this why someone like Trump got elected twice? Right, and that's not to get political, but it's someone like Trump goes in and goes, I'm not part of this. Like, and I know there's plenty of videos and pictures of Trump, and there's like manifests and yada yada to say he went to Epstein. But if someone like him comes out and goes, hey, I'm gonna give you guys the truth of that because I know what happened. I know what's popping off.
Probably dead. Yeah, and if he dies, are we surprised?
Right.
And then do we care?
Right, but I think someone like that comes and we look at him as an outsider because he's not sort of part of the deep state, if you will, or the status quo of the politician, yada yada. And someone like him comes along and goes like, "Y'all know what happened there, bro. If y'all make me president, I'm gonna tell you." And yeah, these people have been hiding shit from you. And yeah. And I think we're going like, well, yeah, fuck yeah, I do feel like maybe there's some shit going on. Yeah, like it's easy to see why someone like that gains influence.
Yeah,
and so like.
Dude, all that shit made me think of. I had this quote and I read it the other day, and forgive me, man. I don't remember where I read this or who said it, but they said, and so this is not my quote, but we are primitive beings living in medieval times with godlike technology. How do you see things end up?
It's fucking true, bro. Dude, I think you had a it wasn't in the pod. Maybe you and I were talking personally, and it was a Neil deGrasse Tyson where you were talking about like our sort of like our space on this earth at this moment in time and where we would be if you looked at the earth as like a neighborhood or like if you looked at our existence as like the earth and where we were and all that. And I think you told me something of like we're like in the neighborhood, we're not even in a state or a country or a thing. It was like if you looked at where we fell into sort of like the
universe
of history and the universe. We're so minuscule.
It was the
I think it was you and I
think it was the time. Like if you look at like where we are in the life of the earth so far. If you took the life of the earth in the billions of years it has existed, humans have existed for like 3 seconds. Out of it, if you put it into a 24-hour.
Yeah. It's
is that what it was? Is that what you were thinking?
Yeah, something like that. I think it was like my point in that was like because I almost lost the talking there. It was like we think we know so much and we know so little.
Yeah, we don't know shit, bro.
And we also, I say that to say is like. We're here for like it's such a fleeting moment, and we're so incapable of like we've seen how we react, dude. We've seen how people react to the news channels, right? We see how people react to CNN and Fox and whatever, and like there are certain things we're just not meant to know, and we shouldn't. And I'm okay with the government hiding shit from us. I'm okay with like things being kept secret. I'm okay with like
I don't want to know everything.
I don't want to know everything. I don't think we can handle everything. It like makes me think of the movie thing. Like, you can't handle the truth. It's like we can't. We really can't. Like, dude, we've shown what happens if you like, dude, fucking COVID, where we just went. This is where it came from, and whatever, and people just didn't know what to do with themselves. Like they just lose their shit. Like humanity shows time and time again. It's like we think we want information. No, we just want to feel like we know.
Yeah,
we don't want to actually know. We want to feel like you're not hiding shit from us. But we don't actually want to know the truth because the truth gives us anxiety. It stresses us out. It makes us worry. It makes us stockpile bullets unnecessarily. You know, like all this shit.
We want to at least believe that everything's gonna be okay.
We want to feel like you are telling us that dude. And I think there's like an old fucking, I don't know if it's Hoover or one of these fucking presidents or Roosevelt or has some quote that's like, like fucking people think they want to know everything, or the key is to making people feel like they know, but they don't actually know. Yeah. Because they don't really want to. It's like there's like some weird, I'm butchering that shit, but it's like shit is so true. Like the older I get, the more I sort of understand that of like, I don't want to know everything. Like I got enough of my own shit to worry about. Y'all got that handle? Cool. The aliens ain't come and fucked us up yet? Like, do your thing. Fucking Epstein's like, hey, it's horrible. It's horrific. It's all that shit. Y'all got that shit contained to like a select group of girls and all that shit, and it's not every girl. Great. I hope you guys fix that shit so it doesn't affect everybody, because I got a little girl and I got all that shit, and I'm obviously worried. I don't want it to happen, but it's like, can you imagine if we went, yo man, at some point in time every girl's gonna run through that shit, and or every young boy and every then we would fucking lose our minds. But if it's like, yo, that's horrible, I hope it changes, but if I don't have to worry about it beyond that, I'm good. Selfishly, you're like, am I good? I was like, am I cool? My little girl's not there. Yeah, like, all right, my little boy's not gonna be affected by Ghislaine Maxwell trying to fuck him. Cool, like.
Is she still alive, by the way?
Yeah, for now, which is very surprising. I thought for sure, but maybe it's just too obvious. Maybe they're like, even we got limits. But also, no one has heard from her, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Ain't nobody seen her. Ain't nobody heard from her. She not writing no emails. She not on.
Is she in jail? She's in jail, right?
Yeah, allegedly.
Okay, we don't know where she's at.
She's in jail. Wink, wink. I believe y'all. I believe y'all. Government, don't fuck with me. I believe y'all. I got a lot of shit to do still in my life. I'm young.
Yo, let's close off with this 1992 embryo, man. Talk to me about this. What's up?
Dude, I thought it was cool. This woman recently gave birth to a baby. And the reason it made headlines was because, so the baby's name is Emma. She was frozen as an embryo in 1992. Okay. She was born in 2017 to a mother that was born in 1991. So I thought
whoa.
Yeah.
Hold on. So the mom was born in 1991.
Yes.
So 1990, the embryo was frozen in 92 by someone else.
Yeah.
And then I guess implanted into this mother in 2017, you said?
Yep.
Or probably 2016.
Yep.
And in 2017, this Emma is born. That's fucking wild.
Yeah. So basically, what happens is in these, and I know we spoke about the IVF thing recently.
Yeah. So is this a woman that couldn't make her own eggs and then?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there is an IVF. Basically, there were IVF embryos or eggs that were unused. Basically.
Yeah.
So like somebody went to do it, like you have talked about on here about how you didn't use whatever, right? Yours is still in storage somewhere, right?
No.
Yeah, but it could be. So, like, what would happen is someone back then stored some, they didn't use them, and then so she was able to use them now, and basically was able to use these embryos back then and got a baby now out of it, or got a baby in 2017.
You go like 14 years. No. Sorry, what's that? That's like 24 years later.
The baby, quote unquote, but she's a kid now. Emma Wren Gibson was born from an embryo that had been frozen for 24 years since 1992. Her mother, Tina Gibson, was born just a year earlier, 1991, making the embryo almost as old as the mom, obviously.
Yeah.
Tina and her husband, Benjamin, adopted the embryo through the National Embryo Donation Center in Tennessee, an organization that helps facilitate the donation of unused embryos from in vitro fertilization procedures. Emma's birth set a record as the longest known frozen embryo to result in a healthy live at birth.
Fuck, man.
Which is fucking wild.
That's cool,
you
man.
never know, man. Like, dude, I think it was cool. I know we talked about this a lot about the IVF thing related to Andrew Schultz and all that. Like, but just to see, like, I mean, I don't know if that family's still around that froze that or whatever and all that, but obviously these get unused and there's a way to sort of facilitate them before. I knew it was possible to do this.
No, I didn't know it was.
I know people can freeze their eggs.
Yeah.
But man, to see this work 20-something years later and you get a perfectly healthy baby out of it is crazy.
Now, this is where I'm stupid with my ignorance. The embryo, are we talking about it's just an egg? Or are we talking about a fertilized egg?
I think if you're saying it's an embryo, it's both, right?
It's a fertilized egg,
egg, right? Yeah.
Fuck, bro. That is so. Then it's
crazy,
so then, if that's the case, then the woman just carried 2 other people's baby, and she's calling it hers.
Basically, she's like a surrogate.
Yeah.
Right.
But 24 years later,
and I went to public school, so it's
an embryo. I could be wrong.
If it's an embryo, I'm gonna assume it's both, right? Because if it was an egg, you would just say the egg.
You would just say the egg.
I think embryo has to be egg and sperm combination. I would think.
Again,
I don't know. I don't know. I went to public.
But still, wild, man. And it's one of those things that, like, you know, like from the way that my twins were born, right? It was through the in vitro fertilization. So, yes, right?
IVF, yeah. It's IVF, yeah.
I always tell them, man, like, it's wild how they came about, and all of the things that sort of had to happen in order for them to be here, including how the fuck I'm here.
Dude, how the fuck do you survive that? Well, not how do you survive that long, but to have something around that long, and then, you know, I would think these people just go like, fuck, dump this or whatever, but
right.
To, like, keep it and then give it life, and then it's perfectly normal and fine. Yo, you're fucking with that baby.
And if you're the chick and they go, yo, we have a 24-year-old, like, we're gonna give you that.
That's got to be concerning, right?
Yeah, fuck yeah, man.
And if you're the doctors, I mean, I'm assuming they've done the research. They know it works, quote unquote.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a limit at some point.
Or does she get a discount?
Yo, can you imagine? Oh my God, yo, you could take this embryo that's 6 months old. You could take this 24-month-old for 75% off.
Now we could.
Yo, healthcare is expensive, yo. I can't even blame her.
It's 90% off right now.
Yo, if she's like, yo, if it's a little downsy, can y'all keep it? Do you just turn it into an embryo again?
An egg.
Yo,
we would find a way to fuck this up.
You do gotta have all kinds of questions for that, right? Like, cause yo, and then you fucking with that kid forever. Like, yo, you old ass baby. Be all mad when it can't hold his head up. Bitch, you 24.
Why you ain't walking already? Go get a job.
Supposed to be in high school. I don't know why I'm paying for daycare. Yo, through the end of time, I should just send you back into your little time machine wherever the fuck you came from. And every time that baby pisses you off.
Man, you're not even mine.
You're not even...
You're not even really mine.
Your mom dead.
And you old as fuck.
Because the egg got out fucking...
We basically the same age.
No wonder your mom had to freeze the eggs and nobody wanted to make babies. You must be just like a...
No wonder you was 90% off.
90% off is fucking crazy. Yeah, we got you on sale. That's gonna fucking hate you. Yo, your brother, we paid full price for him. This bitch Emma.
You defective. Yo, let's get out of here. On that, tell them where they can find us.
We're not making it to no IVF pamphlets anytime soon. At the Carbon Food Podcast on IG, Carbon Food Podcast on Facebook, at Carbon FE Pod on X, and then all your favorite audio platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, GeoSavin, Ghana, Podchaser, Pocket Cast, TuneIn, all of it. Your smart devices, Audible, Amazon Music. Just go on there, tell it to play the Carbon Food Podcast, and we're on there.
Yo, and I had a discussion this week and thought about this thing, and it was actually a discussion about like the past. And I thought about this, I don't know, I guess a quote that's, I guess, is mine. Maybe I'm sure somebody else said it along the way, but I thought you can't look at the past through lenses of the present. So I'm going to leave y'all with that. And as always, we appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Peace.
Peace.